All right, so we're live in the Ward Wrestling Live Show. I'm here with Mr. Anthony Echemendia. If you don't know, if you haven't seen his show or heard his story, it is one that is unbelievable. I do really appreciate him coming on the show. So he is an Arizona State high school champ, six-time Cuban national champ, a double Fargo national champ, which that means that you won two different types, right? And then the Who's number one champ. And now you're committed to the Ohio State University to wrestle there. How are you, sir? How has everything been going on through this? And how have you and your teammates been kind of staying in shape and staying prepared during the pandemic?
Everything has been good, and I'm not in Ohio State yet, but we're still training, we're still grinding, and trying to keep ourselves in shape.
That's a good thing. So obviously, we've seen your story uh, on your move to America, which is just unbelievable. Being somebody who grew up in South Florida, I had a lot of friends that I met who um, obviously had family members and stuff that came the same way you did. So I do appreciate you coming on, and what you did is just unbelievable. So let's start there. Your journey from Cuba to where you are today. Obviously, you went to a tournament or something, from what I understand, and then you had to go through a few different countries to the El Paso border. So please talk about that. Tell us about your journey and uh, the the
All right. So, well, I was a member for the national team in Cuba, and we flew to Guatemala for a training camp before the Junior Pan Ams. And then, like, I spent like 15 days with my team, and then I decided to left my team, and I started my journey to come to United States. And I was in Guatemala. I passed through uh, Guatemala to Belize border, then Belize to Mexico border, and then I crossed the USA border, and I spent about 3 months in detention center and jail. It
oh
was
wow.
hard, man. Passing through the jungles and crossing rivers. It was crazy.
Wasn't easy, huh?
It was a crazy story.
That's amazing. So obviously your dream was big, and to be able to achieve your dreams, you've had to really go through what most people don't have to experience in life. So God bless you. So you get through all that. I know you were kind of just waving cash out in the street, right, to get rides from each country,
Yeah.
each city, and then you make it to El Paso. Uh, you spent what was it, like 3 months or something in the detention center?
So I spent 2 months in jail because this is like a story that I couldn't tell. But then I asked, and my friends told me that it was fine. Like I could tell this story. There was no problem. So I spent 2 months in the Rio jail with
Wow.
the criminals, and that was when I was wearing the blue clothes. It's when you wear the blue clothes, you're not dangerous. When you wear the orange clothes, you're possible dangerous. And red clothes, when you see those guys, man, walk away from those guys. They're in jail because they kill people. They're selling drugs, or you know.
Oh man.
But then I transfer because I passed the interview. You have to pass an interview to get into the USA, and then your family has to send letters to the detention center. So I passed the interview when I was in jail, and then they transferred me to the detention center, and my family sent the letters, and I got out of the detention center. I want to live with my family in New Mexico.
Nice. So now you made it to America. You get through. Everything is good, and so you choose to go to Sunnyside High School in Arizona. Was that always the plan, or is that just what happened when you got here? That was where you picked to go.
I mean, it wasn't my plan. That was God plan. I think that was God plan because when I got out of the detention center, I went to live with my family in New Mexico, and like 5 days later, uh, the Sunnyside assistant coach got in contact with me, and he asked me, "Hey, I have been talking to your dad on Facebook Messenger, and I have a friend here that he's from Cuba, and he was coaching here at Sunnyside as well, and he told me that you're a good guy and you can wrestle. If you want to wrestle for my high school, the doors are open for you. If you want to come here to Arizona, you can live with me, and we're gonna get you ready. You're gonna get a lot of opportunities. If you go to high school, you compete at the high school level, and then you're gonna start growing up and open opening a lot of doors for your future." So I didn't think about it. I told my family, "Hey, I'm gonna pursue my dreams. I want to keep wrestling." I was supposed to drive a big truck where you transport the the gas the gas for the gas stations, and I was supposed to do that because that's what my godfather does.
And look what happened.
And then I told my godfather, "Hey, it would be great for me to work with you, but I want to pursue my dreams. So I want to do what I love the most."
Amazing. So how long were you here before you went to Fargo?
Here in United States,
Yeah.
like 8 months. Well, I
Really?
got well, I got out of the detention center in October. October, 8 months, 9 months. When I went to Fargo, yeah, that
Did
was
you,
like
were you,
nine.
was it planned? Were you training for that? Or you just knew there was a tournament and you were going to wrestle?
No, I knew that Fargo was a big tournament because I was already committed to wrestling. I was man. I came to this country to do big things. I don't want to come here like other guys who comes to other countries and they don't learn English. I want to learn English. I want to go to school. I want to get my college degree, but I want to wrestle because that's what I love.
That's amazing. So you go to Fargo and you sign up for, what was it, freestyle and Greco?
I signed like nobody know this. I signed an app for just for the freestyle part, for the freestyle tournament. I went to the freestyle tournament because I am a freestyle wrestler. I have been wrestling freestyle my whole life, and I told my coaches, "Hey, I'm gonna wrestle freestyle," and they were agree with me. So I wrestled and I won the freestyle tournament. And they asked me, "Hey, you should wrestle Greco too. It's just for fun. You don't have to win." But nobody knows. Nobody knows. Go wrestle. And I was like, "Man, I don't know how to wrestle Greco." Well, I know how to wrestle Greco, but just in practice. Okay, sometimes I play with the guys. Hey, let's wrestle Greco. Let's play in practice. That was my first Greco tournament. And my coaches, and then my dad, my coaches called my dad in Cuba. "Hey, I think your boy is scared. He doesn't want to wrestle Greco. You say that he doesn't scare. You say that he wrestle any style." I was like, "Oh my god!" Now he called my dad, and my dad is a little bit crazy. He's gonna call me back here, and he's gonna say, "Hey, what are you doing? I didn't raise you like that. You gotta wrestle any style." That's why I wrestle Greco. My dad, I want to make my dad proud of me always.
And you ended up winning.
Yeah, I love it, man. That was my first Greco tournament. But I think I wrestle better Greco than freestyle because Greco wasn't my style, and I didn't have pressure on me. Like I was like, okay, if I win, fine. If I lose, any match is fine too because I don't wrestle Greco. Oh
Have you entered another Greco tournament since then?
no, well, I went to practice at the Olympic Training Center with the Greco national team, and I do good.
That's cool. So, talk about your relationship with Casamino Suarez. I know that I was reading some articles that you guys were introduced to each other, and he's become obviously somebody very important to you and somebody who's kind of experienced what you've experienced. So it's somebody here in this country that you've really been able to communicate with at a more personal level, from what I understand. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I mean, we didn't have a relationship. I didn't know Casimiro Suarez. Like he's from Cuba, and he's like a legend in Cuba because my mom was a gymnast and I was a gymnast. So gymnastics was my first sport. And I heard about Casimiro Suarez when I was in Cuba, when I was a little kid, because he won world medals, Olympic medals, and he was like a legend in Cuba. So he defected Cuba and he came to United States. And I heard about him, but I didn't know him in person. And when I started like my commit, when I started like my commitment, he got in contact with me because Ohio State showed interest on me, and that Casimiro Suarez was the is one of the assistant coach in the gymnastics team. And I started talking to him. He told me the stories how he got here to United States. He didn't have anything. Like he was like me. And I feel the same. Like I felt the connection because we're Cubans, and he was talking to me. That he was gonna tell me the truth, and he told me that Ohio State was a good university, and that I should go to Ohio State. And that's one of the reasons that I went to Ohio State.
And it's obviously so far you haven't wrestled yet, but I know that you feel comfortable. It's somebody that there's going to be good and bad days. At least you know that people around you have your best interest.
I mean, I talked to Casimiro Suarez before I went to the official visit in Ohio State. Like I didn't know anybody. I didn't know the coaches. I I I didn't know anything about Ohio State. He was telling me, "Hey, this is one of the best schools. You should come here. We got a good academic program. We got a good wrestling program. I am the gymnastics assistant coach, but I know a little bit about the wrestling community." So I went to the official visit at Ohio State, and then I saw the wrestling room, and I talked to a lot of people, the tutors, a lot of help, man, a lot of people, a lot of support in Ohio State.
Yeah, it's a cool
Yeah,
city up there too, right?
yeah,
Nice small town feel. That's
yeah.
awesome, man. So, talk a little bit about um, your goals now moving forward. Obviously, you're going to start college. I don't know if your plans are to wrestle your freshman year or if they're going to redshirt. I don't know what the deal is there, but as far as your goals in college and then your goals moving forward, um, what will they be? Uh, and as far as Olympic goals, um, would it be for the USA or would it be for Cuba?
I mean, my big goal, my real goals are to be a world and Olympic champion. But now I got new goals because America got a different system. They have folk style. I started wrestling folk style when I got here. I didn't know anything about folk style, but wrestling is almost the same. Everything the same. Greco, freestyle, folk style. It's wrestling. And now one of my goals are to win NCAA titles. You know, and then keep pursue my dreams, my great dreams, world and Olympics. One of my
That's
dreams.
unbelievable, man. I hope I will be rooting for you every step of the way. It'll be fun to watch you. I'm sure you're enjoying every moment of being here in America. Talk a little bit about your mom and dad. Have you seen them since you came to America, or is it just speaking on the phone? And um, what's going on there with your immediate family?
I haven't seen my family since I got here because I don't have my green card and they can't get out of Cuba. Like they can't fly to anywhere. They don't have that opportunity. So I see my parents every day on the phone. Every day. If I don't call my mom on, oh my God, she goes crazy.
Did
She
she
thinks
send
something happened. Man, we're a really close family. Like we were always, like close. We were a beautiful family.
Did she send you any of those amazing Cuban recipes?
Oh yeah, we cook when I want to cook like my Cuban food. I call my mom because I don't know anything about cooking. I call my mom and she tells me what to do. Hey, you have to put this here. She organized everything. I am like the assistant, and she's
Yeah.
the chef.
So, can you find coladas and cortaditos in
Oh yeah,
up there by Ohio State?
I'm not 21 yet, so I have to wait a little bit longer. But in Cuba it's different. In Cuba, when you're 16, that's your drinking age. So like that was different. It's different in Cuba.
Well, man, you must feel just elated to get through your senior year, get the opportunity to wrestle for a powerhouse like Ohio State, be around those legendary coaches, and then of course I'm sure you have uh, wrestlers coming back that were big names wrestling in there, like excuse me, like Tomasello and all those guys coming back and checking you out. And uh, what's the culture like when you talk to those guys? What do you have to look forward to? How excited are you to get into the NCAA level and compete there?
I mean, to win, USA got a great wrestling level. Like you to win an NCAA title, you have to be a great wrestler, a good wrestler. It's not anybody who goes to the NCAA tournaments and win the NCAA tournaments. If you see, like, if you analyze how good USA wrestlers are, like almost all those guys who win NCAA titles, they go to international tournaments and they win international tournaments as well. Because there is a high level, man, here in the United States. You go to a tournament. When I went to Fargo, I saw 128 kids in my brackets. That's crazy. When I in Cuba, you're gonna see 16 guys in your bracket because there is 16 states in Cuba, and just one guy represent each state. Now here like 4 or 5 guys representing Florida, for example. Arizona, 4 guys. And there is a lot of states, like 50 states. When you see, man, like 150 kids in your brackets, man, I was going crazy. I was like, how many matches I'm gonna have to do? It's crazy.
Man. Well, hey, I can't wait to watch you wrestle at the next level. Um, I'm so very appreciative of you coming on with me and talking with me.
Of
Um,
course.
so obviously, I know that you prefer freestyle, right?
Yeah.
Um, and have you spoken to any of your old teammates or anything that were with you in South America when you took off?
I have. I have spoke with my teammates, my old teammates. But in private, like because they're in the national team and they could get in trouble if one of the coaches, the teachers or somebody see them their message. They're gonna start thinking about that the other kids it's trying to leave Cuba as well. So that's why like it's hard for those guys to communicate with somebody like me. Like I left Cuba, and then they could get in trouble, man. It's like if I love my teammates, my old teammates, I'd rather not talk to them, so I don't have to get them in trouble.
Sure, I understand. So you went 22-0 this year, right? And won the state championship?
I don't know why people say like 22. I won like 42 matches, more
Oh,
than
I don't know. I saw it online, but
yeah. I saw that too.
that's
Or
incredible.
maybe it's just the maybe it's just the folk style season, because I wrestled the freestyle state tournament, and then I wrestled in Vegas in Junior Nationals. Then I wrestled in Fargo. In total, it's like 50 matches, more than 22 matches.
Have you started to are you starting to meet your expectations? Are you exceeding your expectations, or you feel like you still have a lot to prove, a way to go?
Man, you always have to improve. You always have to get better. I mean, you're not gonna get to the top like easy. When you think that you're in a good shape, or you're not, you need to keep improving and keep getting better. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, I believe you're an inspiration to a lot of people, and I'm sure there's a lot of uh, young Cuban kids running around that country wrestling right now, and I'm sure your picture is on their wall.
Yeah, no, it means a lot to me, and I would love to inspire more people from Florida. Man, there is a lot of Cubans in Florida, and I don't see the power. It's
Yeah,
crazy because
you
Cuba
got
is
it.
a small
Yeah,
country, but we got a lot of good wrestlers, and I don't see the power in Florida. Like it should be like more. They should have more. I don't know, more athletes, more wrestlers.
yeah. Well, a lot of baseball players down there.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of baseball players.
That's
Good
amazing.
baseball.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe this will inspire more kids to get in the room, not just Cubans, but Americans too. I mean, everybody understands your story and finds it amazing, and now you're building your own story. So keep inspiring. Good luck up there. I can't wait to see you wrestle on the college level, and I'll let you go and enjoy your time with your friends and family.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, sir.
You too, sir. Take care.